Welcome into 2 Hour Health. Baptist Health Systems has a service at a place called Crossbridge, or a service called Crossbridge. And we're talking about mental health as well as your physical. We have all worn our masks. We took them off for the interview. We take care of our hands, and then we hear about social distancing. Well, it should be physical distancing, because part of our mental health, it's indigenous to the human nature to be social. So part of mental health and the problem is what's going on today, because we're not having those interactions. And we've got Krista James back with us, and she is going to tell us more about Crossbridge, services that you have, things to do and things to be aware of. And that is for mainly this segment, our senior citizens, but quite frankly, it's for everybody.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about the services that Crossbridge actually offers for senior citizens.
Okay, so some of the services that we offer are going to be individual therapy, one-on-one with the psychiatrist on staff, and then we're going to have group therapy as well. And that's going to be a lot more along the lines of reflection and, what are the stressors and the events that are going on in their life, and how can they better deal with them? With senior adults, a lot of it is just the aging process. They're seeing, cognitive decline,
Right.
physical decline, and so, we're really going to help them kind of navigate through that and see how they can better handle it. On top of that, we have recreational therapy. So one of the things that our recreational therapy staff likes to do is to paint with our senior adult patients. As you might guess, this helps with cognitive abilities and really provides an outlet for them to kind of express what's going on with them in a very safe way. So we have that, and then we also provide assistance for the family. So the staff will kind of speak one-on-one with the family, because this might be something that's new for the family as well as the people that we are serving in Crossbridge. So we're going to help them see, this is their medication, this is their diagnosis, and this is what it really means. And, make sure that everybody's on the same page, so that way when they go home, everybody can take care of each other.
Because it's like a lot of other things, it is a family affair. Disease, for the most part, or problems physically or mentally, they're a family affair. So I love that. Let me ask you this. How, if I thought that I needed Crossbridge, how do I go about getting to the facility, getting the help?
Okay, so if you were thinking that you needed help from Crossbridge, or if you thought that a family member might need some help from Crossbridge, one thing that you can do is speak to your doctor, and they can go ahead and refer you over to our intake staff, and subsequently over to the approving physician who would grant you that stay in Crossbridge. Other than that, if you can't go to the doctor, maybe you can't schedule a time with him just because of the way that everything is right now.
It's different.
Yes. So one thing that you can do is go to our emergency department at any hospital. It doesn't have to be a Baptist Medical Center South facility. It can be Prattville or East as well. And just tell them what's going on. Tell them the things that you're experiencing, and what they're going to do is they're going to contact our intake department, who is then going to come and do an assessment on you. As well as, if you just want to call our intake department directly, you can do that as well. But ultimately, once you're going to get medically cleared by the medical staff, and then you're going to get that assessment from the intake department, then you would in turn come over to Crossbridge.
Let me ask you this. A lot of us experience some anxiety. We've been cooped up, all those things. But how do you actually determine, when you're talking acute, really having a need for an inpatient facility, which is what this is?
So that's a great question. So one thing that we're going to do is, every person that is speaking to our intake department for our assessors over there, or just in general going to the emergency department, they're going to be asked a series of questions, and each of these is going to rank them on a scale of risk factor for suicidal ideations, homicidal ideations, and then we're going to take into account, are they hallucinating things? Are they seeing things that aren't there? Are they talking to people who aren't there? Or do they just, have a skewed view of what their reality is at the current moment? All of these things are going to kind of encompass each other, and then grant you access over to Crossbridge, if you need it. Some people are not as severe as others, and we're going to send people over our way based on severity as well.
Okay. What about what about just severe depression? I know some people right now that I think are depressed.
Right. And, I think that we're all kind of struggling with that a little bit as well with everything going on. Like I said in our previous segment, everything's a completely new kind of normal right now. We're all still trying to navigate through what that really means. But yes, if it's a severe depression, that is still just as risky of a diagnosis as, say, schizophrenia or what have you. So severe depression, definitely, if you need help for that, because a lot of the time that could be medication management as well, or just, getting so overwhelmed or caught up in the events that are happening around you, we're going to be able to help you kind of pull through that, see through the other side, and see positive and healthy coping mechanisms. So that way, if you start to feel yourself kind of getting pulled under again, you can pull yourself right back out.
Well, I love that, and actually, basically, you have the ability to help people who get to a point where I've seen people that are so depressed, they're just not functioning. They're not functioning in life. And the goal is to get you back where you belong.
Right.
And I love the fact that we have access to this. And now tell me where you're located.
So we're located on Narrow Lane Road. We're really just right across the interstate from Baptist Medical Center South. So we're going to be at 4385 Narrow Lane Road. And,
okay.
If you need us, or if you know anybody who needs us, by all means, give us a call. Go to the emergency department, but don't hesitate to reach out, because it might be something that is, very easy to kind of fix and work through at first, but the longer you put it off, it can be, a lot more challenging to try to get you back to your baseline and where you need to be.
The worse it gets. Now, is the Narrow Lane location, is that the only location that you have on Narrow Lane Road right now?
Yes, it is. So we have Crossbridge Behavioral Health, and then we also have something called Crossbridge Intensive Outpatient. So,
okay,
that's
great.
kind of like a step down from us. And a lot of the people that come to us will then refer over to the intensive outpatient, so that way they can continue to get that care, continue to, work on any issues that they might be having, and continue to get that medication management.
I love that you can actually follow through and follow up. Well, thank you, Krista, so much. And thank you all for being with us. And let's take care of our mental health, and we'll be right back.